Okay, so we're representing the RSL as our chosen charity, and there was two key elements to the RSL brief, and they were basically to create an online funding platform to effectively appeal to a broader audience than they would get for the people that would buy a poppy or a badge in the street around an ANZAC Day or Remembrance Day. And the second element was really to raise awareness and effectiveness of the RSL Plant Your Poppy appeal, which was launched last year in Victoria. There's a third element that we decided to introduce and we basically built into it, and that was to also use the opportunity to create an online or digital education platform and really engage consumers. So validation in our work was absolutely critical. We're dealing with sensitive subject matter, coupled with a very broad audience that we're dealing with, and also dealing with a lot of different well-established organisations. So the feedback that we received from that validation was absolutely integral in determining the design and feel of the product itself. The way that we responded to the brief was really to create a really beautifully designed, simple and highly personalised user experience, and we basically put it at your fingertips. So this is Poppy. So we'll go through it. And James did a fantastic job of actually creating something which we actually thought was beautiful, because the aesthetic aspect of it was important to us because we wanted to not only attract people, but also drive people to come back. So the front page that you see here, there's an image in the background. The way that it works within Poppy is that every time you come back to the app, there's a new image there. And each image that you see is actually attached to a story. So this, for example, is Sergeant Coyne, and this is his story. And every time you come back, there's a new story. What we want in every part of the process is to personalise every step. And there's a reason for that, and we'll get to that in a moment. When we go back, we can actually search. If you've ever been the sort of person who's actually asked a question, do I have a relative or do I know anyone who's ever been involved in World War I, how do I go about finding that out? What we've done is we've actually introduced a search engine at the front of the app. So you basically just type in the name, and the platform itself searches through a couple of key databases, which includes the Australian War Memorial, the National Archives of Australia, and I think it was the National Commonwealth War Graves Commission, and they contain over 400,000 names, so it's incredibly comprehensive for World War I. And what you do from there is you basically just select who you want, and it takes you to the official website of the Australian War Memorial, plus all the other ones that I mentioned, and you can start getting personal details, everything from rank, deployment, the dates, where the person enlisted, where they died, where they came back to Australia. So again, it's a highly personal journey that we take them through, all the way through to actually having digitised images of the original war documentation around that individual. So it ends up being an incredibly powerful resource. This is probably the most integral part of the platform, and the key part of the brief was the actual fundraising component. So what we've got is we've incorporated a Plant Your Poppy function, which allows you to plant a virtual or a digital poppy, and you can commemorate that to a particular individual or anything that you want, and you can add your name and a special thought, and importantly, you can actually put it in the location that you want, what's relevant. So in this case, we'll go to Gallipoli in Turkey. You just type it in, and it takes you there and asks you if you want to plant a poppy. And from here, one of the elements that we wanted to overcome from the original Plant a Poppy version was there was an issue with being able to get people to plant a poppy as well as raise funds. So what we've done is we have got a drop-down menu where people can elect how much they want to donate. And also, if it's a little kid who's not in a position to donate, they can actually do it for free. We want volume, we want awareness. And at each step, they can raise awareness also by sharing that experience across all their social media networks. And then as soon as we hit plant, there it is. And with the attached sentiment and everything else that you want. So that's a fundraiser. It's an in-app payment system that we're looking for. Similar to the last group, we want to reduce the barriers for people to do it. when we go back out, there's an educational component that we wanted to integrate and really highlight how powerful this platform could really be as a resource. So we've created this timeline, and it basically gives you a quick synopsis of all the key wars that Australia was involved in, and if you go into any of them, you get a little bit more detail and a quick feel. It's just designed as a hook to get people to ask questions and then do more research subsequently. In terms of validation, we did a tremendous amount of work. We've gotten hundreds of respondents via a couple of different platforms, through surveys, through social media, Facebook, and we've also gone through to the ANZAC War Memorial down in Hyde Park. The endorsement is incredibly powerful. The feedback that we're getting from these organisations is that they actually want to partner up with someone like us because they've been looking to do something like this for a long time. They want to engage, they want to communicate, and they want to make themselves relevant, and this is their way to do it. In terms of the distributions, I've mentioned some of the ones before, the Australian War Memorial, National Archives of Australia, the War Memorial in Hyde Park, and Inside History magazines, and Department of Education. There's absolutely no shortage of organisations that would be prepared to partner up with us. So hopefully we've demonstrated that not only has Poppy actually addressed the brief that we were given, but we've actually gone above and beyond.